next lesson, we will demonstrate how you can persist changes locally that resulted from a drag and drop interaction. To accomplish this, we will be implementing the onDragEnd callback function that is invoked at the end of every drag and drop. Now, this function receives a result object. We will be making use of the source and destination properties of the result object to update the order of our task list. Now, as you can see, we can now drag and drop things around in our application. Now, these interactions, as of now, are not being persisted, and a task list is reverting to its original state after drop animation completes. Now, let's go ahead and work on how to persist this list on drag-end function. Firstly, let's go ahead and explore the result object. As you can see over here, we have this result object which contains primarily source and destination related information. Apart from that, it also has this draggable ID, which is the ID of the task being dragged. And then we have the type over here and the reason. And then we have source and destination. Now, the reason could be drop or cancel. Generally, it's not super important to know whether the user dropped explicitly or canceled the drags, say by using the escape key, but you do have that information if you need. We'll now have two really important objects, the source and destination. Now, these objects contain information of the location, about where the draggable started and where it finished. In this case, let's say the draggable started at index position 0 and it ended on this destination where the droppable ID is column 1, but the index position changed to 1. Now, there are also scenarios where the destination can be null, such as where the user drops outside of a list. Now, we'll grab this information that we are interested in, and over here in our drag-end function, what we'll do is we'll be creating this object literal. So we have destination from this result object, we have source from this result object, and then the draggable ID. So the ID that is being dragged or the task that is being dragged from the result object. Once we have that, the next thing that we'll do is we'll check if destination is null. In that case, we'll simply return it. And next, we'll also check if we have dragged and dropped the item on the same index position. Now, if that's the case, then also we don't need to do anything. And for that, what we'll be doing is we'll be first of all comparing the droppable ID, and then we will also compare the source's index position. So here we'll be writing the destination dot droppable ID is equal to the source dot droppable ID, and the index position of the destination and source, if these two are same, then we don't have to do anything and we'll simply return it. Now, if these are not the cases, then we'll go ahead and first of all, we will get the column information from the source droppable ID. So here we have the source object, then we have the droppable ID, and this is what we will be retrieving and will be assigning to our column value. Next, we'll get the new task ID collection, and that is going to come from the column.task IDs. So if you remember, we have our initial data, and this is the column, and this is the task ID. So this is what we will be retrieving and assigning over here as new task IDs using the array.from and column.task IDs. Once we have this, then we will be making use of the splice method, and we'll be using the source over here dot index, and then we'll provide the value 1 over here to splice that particular object from this array, and we'll then again make use of the splice method on this new task IDs, and this time we'll be providing the destination index 1 over here, as you can see, and then we are adding this draggable ID. So with these two splice methods, What exactly we are trying to do? We're trying to move the task ID from its old index to its new index in the array. So what splice method will do is it actually modifying the array, or it will modify new task IDs, saying from this index we want to remove one item. We're also going to use the splice again over here, as you can see, and this time we'll be inserting the draggable ID to this destination index. So we are moving it from the source and then we are adding it over here on the destination side. So from source we have moved this and we have added it to the destination. Now once that's done, we will be creating a new column collection, and that we can do in this way. So we are saying new column, and then we have the column information over here, and the task ID is now updated with the current task IDs that we have updated using the splice methods. And once that's done, we'll now go ahead and create or update the new state. And to do that, we have our new state over here. So we are taking the older state and then we are updating the following information like the column. So if you see over here initial data, the column has got this ID, title and task IDs. What we are doing over here is we have taken that column information and then we are saying new column.id as a new column. Now, once that's done, we are then going to update the state over here. So we are saying this dot set state, and this is the new state that we have created. And that's pretty much it that we need to do. So now if I go ahead and try dragging and drop some of the items from this list, you'll notice that I can now this take out the garbage, I can put it over here, and it's not resetting at all. You can see it over here now. Or if I take the cooked dinner and move it all the way up, it's persisting over there.